Welcome to Endgame Club. This is Tuesday night of week number 1, and I was going to make a little appendix here about the rating system. Okay, um, so I fixed this up once again. Let me go over here first. Okay, this is our Endgame Club discussion forum, by the way. So there's a thing in here from August. It goes into lots of detail about the whole thing, especially just the spirit of par and how do we decide par and stuff. But you get down to item number 4. So what's a strike, what's a double, etc. And here is the rating system. So in other words, before you can rate the tournament, you have to know what you're rating. And what we're looking at is the difference between how you played an endgame and how you could have played it. And just like the real USCF rating system, actually nobody knows what you did, right? You could have picked up a rook after a few moves and just thrown it over into a garbage can, and you're like, oh, well, okay, I dropped my rook. I guess I'll just resign, you know. You could do all kinds of crazy things. The rating system is only based on the outcome. Okay? There's a par outcome, and then there's what you get. If you get better than par, that's called a strike. If you get 2 half points better than par, that's a double strike. But anyway, it's actually very simple to summarize. You get 50 points for a strike, and you get 5% of the ratings difference. Let me make this even bigger text here. Every single game, no matter what happens, you get 5% of the ratings difference. So, if your opponent is rated 200 points better than you, you get plus 10. On the other hand, they might try to get a strike against you, so you might lose 50 points. Anyway, here are 2 examples, and then I think you'll probably be just fine. So example number 1. The player with the white pieces is rated 1800. The player with the black pieces is rated 2100. They play an endgame with a par of 1/2, and black wins. Okay? Endgame is supposed to be a draw, but black wins. That's a strike. Now, black is going to get 50 points for that strike, but notice that white is a lower rated player, so by 300 points lower rated, that's 5% of 300 is 15 points. So 50 minus 15 is a total of 35. This is also a zero-sum thing, so black is now going to gain 35, and white's going to lose 35. So that's 2135 and 1765. Okay, and example number 2. White is rated 1900, let's say. Black is rated 1700. They play an endgame par 1-0. White wins the endgame. Might even win it in crushing, dominating style. Doesn't matter, right? Because that's par. So you think, okay, I got par. Everything's fine. Since this was the par result, it's not really a win or anything. However, there is a rating difference, right? Okay, so this is just like in the USCF. If you get a draw with another player, you know, oh, great, well, that's fine. I didn't do anything wrong. But if that other player is 700 points higher rated than you, you're going to get a lot of points for that draw, right? So same thing. You're going to get 5% of the ratings difference for sure. And in this case, it's 10 points. It's not a very big rating difference there. So black will gain 10, and white will lose 10 to 1890 and 1710. Okay. Quick look at our chart here. So other rook, with a champion performance, played a total of 7 rounds. He had 1 bye there. He got +4. He got a strike, another strike, and a double strike in the last round. Other rook also played very slightly higher rated players. He came into the tournament after Saturday rated 1950. So that's a little bit less than 2,000. Everybody starts at 2,000. And actually just barely, but total of about 50 points. So in these 7 games, Other Rook's opponents had a total rating that was just slightly better than 1950 per game. Total of 50 points ratings difference, and 5% of that is 2.5 points. So he gets 200 for the 4 strikes, and then 3 more points. So 1950 to 2153. You can also see here this is provisional based on 13 rounds. So that's it. The ratings are volatile. Okay, so if you have a bad day, you might go down 50, 100, 150 points. You might go back up the next time, right? So things will kind of even out after a while. You'll start to have like a sense of what your rating is, but it's always going to be a little jumpy. At the moment, I'm still enjoying first place. I got 23-15. And who is catching up with me? I don't think I'll stay in first place. I'll be excited to find out. Celtics is 21-70 after 2 tournaments. You notice Celtics is still going up, though. He went up 70 points tonight. C. Roeder immediately going up to 21-10. Also Packer. So Packer and C. Roeder finishing on +2. Very impressive. And also Buckeye jumping up almost 100 points. Now that's interesting. See, Buckeye also +2, but only gets 93 points. Must have played a slightly lower rated opponents. Okay, and then a big one, like I just mentioned, Other Rook 21-53. So Other Rook is right behind Celtics there. And the other thing, though, you can imagine if Other Rook continues to score +4, he's going to keep going up for a bit. Alright. One last comment. Notice the interpretation. If you're rated 100 points higher than another player, you automatically lose 5 points per game, right? That means you need to score 1 strike out of every 10 endgames to maintain your 100-point gap. Okay? So, what does a 100-point rating difference mean? Well, so C. Roeder is about 2100, and Insulated is just about 2000. You got 3 pars, and I had to withdraw. Let's say that those were stable or accurate, let's just say. So C. Roeder is about 100 points higher rated. What does that really mean? Well, it's a slight difference. If they play 10 in-games, the ratings suggest that they'll get a bunch of pars, maybe they'll get a few strikes, and altogether C. Roeder is going to have a +1 strike score. That's just a single half point, right? But he's going to manage to get an extra half point out of those endgames. So that's what that would be. 200 points, now you're talking 2 out of 10. 300-point rating difference, 3 out of 10. So you can, for example, watch Packer here. If Packer starts to be 200, 300, 400 points ahead of the crowd, well, now you have to remember also this is blitz chess. But what it suggests, right, for example, 300 points, it suggests that if people just put random stuff in front of you, he's just going to win like a third of the time. This endgame, that endgame, you know, white's supposed to win, black's supposed to win, that's a draw, that's a draw. It doesn't matter. Like, I'm going to consistently pull strikes out of thin air and get extra half points. And to the tune of, say, 3, 4 out of 10 or something. We'll find out. We'll find out where everybody can go. But anyway, it's a little bit of a feedback measure. It helps keep track of how you're doing. The main thing is just to have a good time, and of course, don't forget to prepare for the tournaments. So if you're getting a lot of minus signs, partly there's some tough players in the club, but also partly, you know, you can go back and, I don't have it here, but you can go back to the positions and study what the book is suggesting that we can do in those situations, right? All right, I think you get the point. So thanks for watching the video, and that is a little bit about the PAR system, and hope you found that interesting.